abino. Menu na be adwen say before the 2024 election, na Ghana for nyina support ehine omo. Na ohwe Ghana yenso a nyame de acheye, oba ade de acheye, a change from blue to brown. Enya de ana obi ani age ho. Ntina e wo say aban no etu ho anamo. Unfortunately, the previous government anya ho hwe because they themselves were neck deep into it.
I see.
Professor Frimpong Boateng ne kan asem. O say eye aban atena ye under the NPP was the headquarters of Galamsey. And Galamsey so be a free for all enterprise for any and every member of the NPP. And ne masasa aban papa ba. Ye papa His Excellency the President were waging a relentless war against Galamsey. Na JB. E penyin se sa ponchani wu a ana ehu ne tenten.
Sure.
Sanka NDC abaya makonyamu a anka akonta mine na ye chama wuntumi de. Anka there is no way they will face accountability. There is no way they will be caught and arrested. A kwanya only few days ago ye choma.
Akonta mine, are they involved in illegal mining?
Of course. In fact, in 2022, the media coalition against Galamsey, as led by Dr. Kenashibe, the CID ho, at the Office of Special Prosecutor ho,
and lawyer Martin Pebu.
Say Akonta mining is engaging in Galamsey.
I see.
Sa allegation by no investigation in po and then President Kufuor on 4th January 2023 be clear Akonta mining. And ne Ghana ha. Why name say Akonta mining omo ye Galamsey? In fact, ye chill on Tano Nimri Forest. No. They don't have a mining lease. Yes, omo mining wo. And you know who so ye dey. Excavators over 31 na ye chi ye no. Na e was asase no so ye dey ye dey. And under NPP, it is said the Professor Frimpong Boateng kan no. And it is said the Titus Glover, former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Kenya Japan, and seasoned MPP mpenyufo about because na eye MPP aban no mu mpenyufo and Galamsey no mo ye.
So doctor, what are you guys waiting?
So what we are doing is yasha say me no ka say dozens of people have been arrested. Ye che omo no ye de omo gira ma kwan so. Galamsey so ye the excavator na ye say excavator na ya che omo it is in the custody of Ghana Police Service. It will not happen to say they see here and the MPP excavators no. And we must tackle the issue head on. And I'm a body defense minister, Dr. Manebo Amabaso, the lands minister, the interior minister, Oma Kabum, and Santo Koya Yeko against Galamsey. MPP for share that they say Mebuno Amu Boasene Takwa. Saying Mebunu Neye, a one penny for Neye, Mebunu Bian or bit me to excavator 31. Obi Owoska editor excavator 31 on Galamsey. Say asma make out here.
Yeah, sure.
Eye aban mu mpanyufo akese a na omo ye MPP for na eye sa Galamsey no.
But I'm not sure we've ever heard say abayachi Galamsey is for be legal miners for be a prosecution man or the work of kujina sem DBA man. Ya start come as if you have any of them.
Yes, of course, there is no doubt. Me both various forest reserves are.
No, for the forest reserves, they say now I said that. And
yes,
but so who are the notable names we are looking at?
Some of them are not politicians, and
no problem. We are interested.
But on 23rd February 2025, okay, evaluate Ajomorojira. Ye chinipa 15 many okasei omuomua ye arrange omo for court.
Are they still in police custody?
Oh yes. Oko on 5th March 2025. Aparos Regional Security Council omo arrested nipa 73 in the Tilly Forest. Omujina emrenim. 11th March ye che nipa 12 Tano Anya Forest. 13th March ye che about 8 people in the Subri Forest. Met me on and on and on. On 14th March, ye chi nipa bebre saa in the bosome free one district no mo ye illegal mining ya chi omo achi omo galams omo excavators ne chamfan omo de ye adwuma. That is how galamsey is being fought. Of course, there are a lot of Ghanaians are say a slow play, but the point is that saga galamsey akoso in the last I'm talking about deeply seated mechanized galamsey omo use excavators akese over 30 more 50 no akoso over 8 years. Enough from say within this short time. If you want to be honest to the people baby Ghana policy, we must be honest. Adena koso over 8 years. In fact, a Juma excavator bakubit in 1 day. You will be shocked. I mean, no can say TV3 premises excavator beat me 30 minutes. And imagine say obi or excavator 51 no genasa so the damage those excavators will cause. No, you will be shocked. But President Mahama or say one, we're banning all politically exposed persons from engaging in mining. Mining, when you galamsey mining, what's mean mining? So we are buying money now.
All politically exposed persons.
Number 2, or say mining in forest reserves were cheap, mining in river bodies were cheap. These are far-reaching measures. Are banning ye. Ya launch river gata. Omo ye babuno, omo do nature, omo do insuo. Omoya whistleblowers they are liaising with naval units of Ghana Armed Forces. Said they are suspicious activities via as far as galamsey is concerned, they report it. There are many measures are being taken. As I sit here, Ghana for me shamabo. Be rest assured, say for the first time in the history of Ghana, abayin biaba ye kun galamsey. Now yes, akonta mining. Apart from a mwankasa excavators in the machine say was asaswa eye galamsey no almost twa forest reserve say nyomo de saton Ntim forest reserve bi won chen no makoton ama obi 300,000 Ghana cedi 3 billion no almost age eho kickback ko ti ase ye free charters just almost ton asase na enkrofo no eye galamsey wo so no. Now every week be our masanjo musika $3 billion, $20,000.
It's my establishment.
Because almost say almost 250 grams of gold from Nipana Omdi Assassination. 250 grams of gold. $20,000 or $21,000. Into on the money partner every week will make it $200,000.
Dr. Buame, so far no, are they facing prosecution or they have just been arrested?
This week you will see say Yedomujina Emrenima.
That this week.
Of course. And the government is doing something. All we need from the people of Ghana, they are here from Ghana for more support, more encouragement. And no minister na support no. Now also because even though now we knew say galamsey as a crew. But the extent of damage ya cause Ghana no minister no na ne raho. But this is a minister wa born homodenya oni other sector ministers akaboma omo crack it down on illegal mining.
I see.
What did they make us say? Because over the last 8 years the level of destruction cause so mining leases a microphobia. Evidence available because they had leanings to MPP in Romania we know. Omo de adwin bone na yedwuma no. Omo ko gina so hu no metu. In fact, last week na me Western region. Ankobra River no, ebi mo blocking no. That is how wicked people can actually be. Ankobra River no, you are blocking on na inso na ba slowly no mo dey wash. Omo good no. What you are saying? The point I want to make to the people of Ghana, say galamsey kono yebekun. The government is committed. Now denti ayentimi kono say because of politically exposed persons are omumu odu asike krobo. So they are the one government.
Are they bigger than Ghana?
They can never be bigger than Ghana. And I can tell you on all authority. Say if investigations conducted, prosecution court. If a contaminant belonging to chairman, won't to me or MPP chairman in the Ashanti region. If should move there, they say indeed he is guilty. And I say say we flout licenses and man no illegal mining. I can tell you an authority say the leadership of Akunta mining, they will go to jail, and I will not be surprised if Chema want to be himself goes to jail. And I believe say Ghana afford to do any better because you cannot have a situation now. You two Obama say believe or mine. You the Ghana Japadi action because of who or political leniency or the Ghana Japadi no. Oh, say Ghana, say Ghana. But we cannot encourage something like that.
Let's talk about Honum Licious. My member of Honum, I don't know if next more kind, you also have something to say on that.
Okay. My member of Conyers na Minchia or her phone.
But it's all Cambono there. Back Cambono, be in Ayente.
Member of Conyers na Minchia or her phone na Minchia NDC Funa na Minchia. Minister me bana mi tie se o ka se suna o sunye no na bet emuya
adete moya
emuya se un se aduma na be dia hye ne nsa no se otena ase na se ukọ e bia ana se o hwe nsase a ese na o hwe nsu a ese ya ese utimisu enyo no nko akora na eso so un se there was a time na Otumfo eko Kekos I think say na oko Asiedu Kekos na udu river prahu na oye ayi amamre wo ho no times no enye nwanwa kire say obeka proud to copy 2 CDs bi o say enti no week ya yasini no ye nyina ya expect say bibi sa ebetimi akoso watch ase
but Ivan
Maybe.
I see I said this week we be able to assess now. Well, judicial process no na so best start this week. I don't know if
I think it's very important. They come mention what for na menka say JB.
Yes sir.
Ade ba ko a emu du pa wasase we so political power. Emu du ankasa very overriding and very overreaching. But the interesting aspect of it is sa political power near nema me you know it will either make you or make you and you back abra Kwame Nkrumah every UK eba Ghana abra oye ne law we ya na oba Ghana no he was nobody but oba ya obenya political power enam the other year you know he became somebody so the political power made Kwame Nkrumah before Akufo-Addo be president we were made to believe say he was somebody but onya power no or did the female hold to the sense that he has become nobody so far as this whole political destiny is concerned. So a chance of winning political power now quite before so be you know and the determine the kind of legacy and the kind of name you make for yourself. Prior to the election adeba kwana Ghana for nyina ye kan ho asem ye galamsey for the first time in the history of this country na ye kwaya election and na economy and lead the conversation but it was galamsey. How destructive it was at the time. And the criminal negligence on the part of the government of the day said obey be found to the extent that there were reports. Man for evidence, a good president and him all that he needed to do was to act on it. But at the top of all this evidence, you know, yet now say law. Making the press give the president power to use his own personal discretion to award forest reserve to individuals or more air mining in this forest way. There were a lot of criminal activities are never perpetrated. So elections no course of President Mahama Baye, the focus was on galamsey because that was the leading conversation. But you see, transition very it goes slow. People wanted to see some drastic measures be buying a take, but the government was in transition. I feel the government no form, so that form no and others will be. But I can tell you, sir, this past week we will be at war reservations so far as the fight against galamsey is concerned. I think the government has demonstrated enough commitment within this week. Say they are really ready in the fight against corrupt this galamsey thing, and I wish, sir, that particular way, no, because you see, it's one thing that is going to make or make the president, so far as his legacy is concerned, because your friend is a Ghana for our much interest. There's one subject that people in academia and stuff involved because our destinies are on the line. So I'm expecting that these measures are buying take here or go after this galamsey, you know, will not just end there. Debbie, with this Akwanta mines, there has been a lot of investigation reporting as far as demonstrating clearly the involvement of this company in mining, especially forest reserve. And then there is a video that is making rounds. I will be a documentary. Capture how destructive this company has been in these areas. I must say forest reserve and so forth. When the minister did the press conference, I say we're revoking lances. For me, that is not enough. These people are criminals, and they should be telling to, or they should be talking to us. Measures are you prosecuting these individuals because the level of distraction are causing. We can't just say you revoke licenses, and then it ends there. Yes, it's good. Some people have been arrested, but you see. There be a mechanic okwa mining site. Nipa no mugu amna mo mutu no. Omo ko baade o. E poverty na so mo. Yeah. E no omo wuye into sa nema no. Enti ukochi sa nkrofo na you are not resolving galamsey. That is why from Rollins Pens besi na soldier for ko nwuram ye chase amanfo basi because u chase you on the following day they will come. But the owners nankasa the campaigns are highly connected individuals just like my brother said. And these are people who should be going after. For instance, Okwa ground na excavator si hwa. Which excavator abachi nipa? Do you know why? Sure. Because excavator no owner. Chances number no tracer, you know the owner and whoever company na or rent it out. You can follow the trade to know who and who rented that particular thing. So you trace to the real owners of these things. And I think that with the excavator bed 31 and ano omakwachi omunyusu those strategy to get to the core individuals now, and we are responsible for this destructive behavior. You're mining, you're lancing, as if we say. Because these people are determined. For them, it is not some kind of a vocation. It's a full-time vocation they've employed. Say, this is what they will do. And on top of that, I'm also expecting, say, government will do everything to ensure, say, JB, your mineral regime, no, there be a mechanism way. Some re-engineering because na Ghana atimia take the full ownership of our mineral destiny because we cannot be owning tons of resources. Then foreign companies will come and mine and they'll give us royalties. No, it doesn't make sense at this present time. You understand? Because this time, the resources we have, say you're building the necessary infrastructure and then as a foreign. Trust me, it can take care of the people here. But people are benefiting, external people making money and not cry they go no mutua. Including not here, and the Chinese are coming. I'm happy the minister said some of the Chinese people are now going to be prosecuted because defeated the earlier Niama Nanam Krum said, Yachi Chinese if I deport you more, Yansaben, the woman Chinese in a deport, no Nagana Nidewa Jelino. Does it make sense? So I think the foreigners now. Must be prosecuted. Magana for who several as deterrent to obese galamsey. Indeed, government is ready. Now again, Jebi, Oko in the past announced a investigation. Yeah. Dr. Frimpong Watson a investigation. Adding a report to buy. These are criminal reporter. There is no expiry date in some of these things. I want government to revisit these issues. Are you sitting as for someone that's in Namkruma? Yeah. Okay. Oh, and you can try people in absentia. Of course. Yes, it's a big deal. And then yes. Of course. We can try you in absentia. So I don't quite way. We need to go after these individuals. As our binary term in that era is gone. No. Professor Frimpong Watson can be a key witness to Niama Ehape. Government needs to collaborate with him, get that particular evidence, and make sure that we follow through. And every single person in the past, involved in galamsey, we bring these people to justice. Because it cannot just happen, say, that chapter near close to, then we are moving forward. And then the same people are the MPP from Peninfo. And other people within the media are bold enough to sit on public. And they are criticizing John Mahama, say he's not fighting galamsey. When you had 8 good years, the president akwanta mine ya yache na ne ya ene ne niema adimu ye fence illegal and I said all pretty the same person was clear just like my brother said ye fence Koforudia wakoshia bishop and a president go use the platform no ka say akwanta mine nyanye bibia but this is a company that is in the forest Manase Koya investigation and several other reports came indicating say indeed the guy was in mining illegal mine na also in our forest reserve na say for no and every much crew our forest reserve. So I think that you see our approach and our effort in dealing with this thing must be ruthless. It doesn't matter nipa ni NDC na MPP ni. All we know is that we want to preserve our forest and so forth. And going forward, JB. Yeah, negotiate. Yeah, further saying lands and as for instance, the mine wine government want to take over now. Yeah, nationalize all the assets. The resources will be here, BR. Let us go out there, get that particular service to come and work for us. At the end of the day, we own the resources. And again, this minor mining now, you leave it to individuals. Government must begin to form companies. Now you're training individuals. They will be in charge at the back of these individuals, and they can employ young people to go into some of these mining areas. Now, so that mining will be responsible mining, not those kind of winner yehua. Yes, sense will sense as a for no. It doesn't make sense. So for me, I think that this effort as shall say must be renewed. And these criminals over the years, so more use galamsey. And unfortunately for us, galamsey no more munyo musikana. They come into the political space.
But the irony is that Akontam mining over the years, I think the first Mahama government was a Tamils government, one of them.
Okay.
The excavators cry,
yeah.
Then came another Dagwa Kufuado. Or the judgment depths.
Yes.
Why are we reducing politics to this level where political differences do not matter irrespective of the judgment that goes in years back?
Yes, that is why the quality of men we put in leadership position. And I'm making about galamsey, I'm making it possible for a lot of idiots to win political power because of money. So such person who is not thinking about Nema Wogening, he's thinking about personal interest, the interest of his affiliate, friends, and then as a for them. But the core decisions that we need to make are our far-reaching consequences and impact in a positive on the fortunes of this country. They will not take it because Akonta mining, Nema, illegal at the time. Now you're confiscating the Nema, now you're Shena. The same company was liberated because NPP was in power and it was giving full access. Yeah. This time, not just mining areas or forest reserve. Yes. Forest reserve no afane dia otunu na otanton bi ma manfo otonma wi a yese oje 250 grand every way bi abia gold ojeje gold o any dollars waton ma in dollars awie no every month bi na oje gold 250 grand and your business now you think the president was not in the know national security will be a who's animal or so I think there is me I don't want to mention names they are irrelevant. These are key people must say your name. It doesn't matter who they are. I think that the state must be ruthless. We a state, you cannot be merciful. You cannot show weakness. We need to demonstrate to the people of this country that government is fully in charge. And in things like this, not why you'll be scared venturing into some of these arenas. We need to make galamsey a high-risk venture for China. But if we create a weak environment, these people will be importing this Chinese. They come with highly sophisticated equipment. They poison our soil, poison our water bodies. They destroy everything. At the end of the day, they take monies and they go away. Right. You know, China, they are building gold reserve because they are shifting from the reliance on the offense a US dollar because of what is going on at the geopolitical arena. And we Poland, the whole world, per country, auto gold in the year is China because the central bank is behind it. They want to build a huge gold reserve when the Western world, crypto, they want gold. That is why they've liberated these people. Don't think that they are individuals. Right. Because China is a communist state. Every company that comes here is operating at the instructions of the Chinese government. Assemble, they will get their back. And it's the reason why they forced Ghanaian government at the time, to deport individuals as Omoko jail. Because the government is behind it. We are talking about a communist state. So I think these are red lines that we need to look at as people. Now you protect young kasaya there. Now you BM na you greedy there. Trust me, we will never get anywhere.
All right, but that's it. Maminda Ivan Asina, me enche me bani ahe ECG sensem no so. But as usual, me start free Dr. Samuel Yehonomuna yahe ECG. But that's na no me fast that kese fama. Shedraka Mono Enterprise. Anka to say make sure say brother soye na fe ono endili bibia opebia no fa brother soye na fe ono ebe dili na bibia so tumi akoye. Now so doctor my member will hono bi na me hwe what is happening to ECG? The doom so is getting too much.
Of course enter the kan Ghana ni bia wo ho kwan say Oma ne how a dead because it were ECG bills. And to be out I say at a point in time or GD say the light ma or come
absolutely.
We are no more in an era or cast a doom lights you cast of a timetable but it's a corner timetable. We the NDC government we work at the pleasure of the people of Ghana. Ghana food in a year, you tell us the energy sector no, because of how it was managed in the last 8 years no, it's facing a lot of difficulties.
I see.
Year free Abayamu in 2016 na a car ECG the whole energy sector day was about 8 billion. And I mean no cause it's about 70 billion.
Is it US dollars or Ghana cedis?
Ghana cedis. Sikampa they tofang won poegu power plant munaya power no. Yeba e bi nyede eni ho. And so there are major challenges in the energy sector. Yeba ye mwajuma. Of course Ghana for have every right. They have every obligation so make demand they say abai enye bi. Anu ntina NDC abai but almost say yeba NDC one. There are significant investments in the energy sector. Atuabo gas plants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Asogli phase 2. Car power and Mary water. We need a lot of things. Yes, I create ESLA Energy Sector Levy Act. Menoka say I generated 45 billion Ghana cedis. Niwa aye kono na a car Ghana dey only 8 billion. Obieja of 45 billion. A car 8 billion. What is 45 billion as another 70 billion account? I should tell you how the energy sector was managed. Obviously we kept the lights on. Only be no more. They be no more free oil. Carry forward. Now can economy. But the major issue here about the management of the energy sector, they don't do it. And Yaba, Ghana 4 years there are major difficulties. As I said, you solve it do so before 2015. We are still putting in place measures to solve it. But Doomso has been lingering around, just that people are not honest. But I want to promise them. I said the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Yabano. It said ye buy ye how are Ghana for the drone now? We buy a betting tax na mebuno council. Ye year for one.
Yeah.
Ye buy 11. No more council. Ye year for
yeah.
Ye buy a 1.5% withholding tax on unrefined wood. Ye year for and a host of taxes are not a Ghana for. Ye year for and a gradual process. The energy sector difficulties have no. I can promise Ghana for say ye de chishepa egu akwamwa in only a few weeks or a few months. Sanima will not to be tra. Indeed, we are carrying
the previous government bought so whole energy sector. And is it legitimate? Or you are still looking into it?
Oh, of course, majority of them we are still looking into it. Now say you say Omako Kraniema Aba Ghana Niema they will need in the next 10 years. Niema will be here in the next 10 years. So to me so Niema no so say in the next 5 years. Until by the time I next year 10 years we do not Niema na
I said that.
Sanima when na procurement or more year in the last 8 years and a car to Ghana so.
And Niema no be here the year Jumano. Or make here the money the next 10 years. And no makokoto near man and no expire the next 5 years. And I never na bigu Ghana.
And 20 years old plans and
say or general the cat. And I near man also be good on so. Yanom so
so those ones are they legitimate or there's something?
I don't they have the right to do procurement from my but say
yeah, appropriate.
What measure ben the com? What was the need assessment? Also motor. We don't know. Investigations are still going on. But the point I want to make to Ghana for the say, one matuaba, and now what GD say NDC abai, better than an MPP regime yaba. It is said ye no maybe a tremono in the energy sector. No, ye best send Jessica to war and the tuya yamuka. Na energy sector Nigeria so kai say asogli ne other power plants no mutimi dum omo
yeah sure
because of a car na Ghana de omo nyaye because a car ye tu ana kakra in fact now it is better because Oma will say NDC aban we are a little I mean we are modest. And ye can't ye de or say yo into more GDA oyo. And as Asiedu Nketia it has been happening in the last 8 years. Except that Ghana have a higher expectation for the government because they know say we have done it before.
So when are you going to fix it?
Very soon. Very
How soon?
In fact, there are some places what is actually happening there any load shedding. Some of them, to be very honest with you, but some of them, to be very honest with you.
And people also claiming, even some of the NPP members are claiming, yes, but MPP members for said the current ECG boss do not share the same ideology with what President Mahama and for that matter, you should look for somebody on who share the same ideology or equally fit enough.
Yes, I agree with Obia or expressing a view on the matter. The point is that President Mahama Obai, he's one president why an appointment very early. And gradually some of these appointments are now being done and some of the terminations are going on. The NDC and the people of Ghana should rest assured that President Mahama, he has been in this game for a very long time. When the president 4 years, our opposition 8 years and Saba. He is by far one of the most experienced politicians and leaders you will ever get. And to say bibinina the audience said I was a President Mahama and onye no muso cheope. Na President Mahama will do it. Enti dum so ne electricity hu sensema abai. Me Ghana fobo.
Okay.
Say the matter will be solved and will be solved amicably. Ama Ghana for nyina ni age say you da ba amoto something koto ye no anye kwa. Yesre Ghana for nyina say oyawo ne akonanda omukom because of the ekosi mo fa che.
All right.
And until amato abama ye.
Very well.
We work at your pleasure. Eye mumunti ena yete ya ye adwuma. Ye den hihye pa egu akwemu say sa problem na ye be solve.
All right. Lucius. Mbremo na.
Mnyam da se. Dum so Nketia nansan yehu. Me gidi se Ghana ni bia obeka ho asem se o. Ya dum kania. Odika. Patriotic ase.
Yeah.
Because nipa de se owo aban na aban no ye aban a utie na utimi biawo ma wo ye den oka de wo pa eboa ma amamu ye den ejina anka ne aban a atwam na ye hu bi sa nsem bi wo kra na ne ka no edin na of course se wo hwe dun song Nketia na nsan ye hu a because na me se na me wo convention asini bedum kania ahu anumre nti ema eye
discotheque kakra
achi asenti na eha adwen however no ne yehu eni untimu emfa sobo no nyina emmo ayi NDC aban patwa wati asie
eye no na Ghana for pe o
ai minimun say afi ne aban hiaba enti se o sorry na se niema bi koso na unhu se ekoso a emu ya na mom se ohun se aban no nso no o de niema egu akwan mu se ne be ya niema betimi ade ebetimi ayeka ma to se ne na menua eka bibi about niema akoso ECG se betimi koto mfidi a benhia ahu nyema bi anabeye no na ye bebotom nko ana nabadwen enti ekotia oman no because of say na aka akra ma yato abanti no na akwa ete say be so ho because na nsan bi nsem a mete ye aba say be kra nyema bi ha be contract will be say onko fa nyema mra nipa no nyema o de beba no nyina no ne contract no end wo port ho no se bebe clear no so no ye ECG for asem what you say
yeah
enso bebe timi so aja ECG betimi aja aniema no wo ho no ma ama dimoreja ka niema no na fe de nipa na ono ko fa ade no baaye no wa asen afa akiri no wa asen akọ eden wakoto no wa asen abeton de ama ECG bi what you say enti yesika na be eden be hwe ayi ofrensen ameri ni ye be de ko kumase no kumase wan
yeah
It cost or minus $36 million. From IU. And we had a free turkey crab Ghana none boys.
I said $4 million or something.
And Tino said, what the idea free turkey ever Ghana? Now say around 4 million now. I think it's 3.6 million.
Yeah, almost 4 million.
Almost 4 million.
Yeah.
Now what the I didn't know Ghana high keke. I don't know to cost $36 million. So you see, NPP for Adi in Samone Kessie, Ajaho. Now, and yet 1 day affair. Yem Tim for 1 day per enye. Now, mum say, I cancel the Yedika. What you say? And to me, GDA say, send your President Mama air committed, say, or the obey Ghana, you know. Me GDA say, free Sabri air kuye, you know. Sa ECG in Sensem, Nema, Ewo Honoma, Emma, I say, Kaniano, Ntim National, ever solve it. What you say?
Yeah.
Entino, the Macacha Ghana food, I say, Yanya, Yanya train home. What you say?
Okay.
See, your train home, Kaka, GD is a casa idea. Sometimes in Muya, I've been said I make a similar convention, I see a bit do Kanye. What you say? Antino. Ebi oha no so eye bibia ebi akra American in convention there could be oha na ne de na oye no ewo financial returns bi so team meet certain demands bi ne nasefo na yadum kania ebi a ono so any alternative generator bi anase plant bi a wo hono or rely on only ayi men can say ECG anase ayi entino emu ya nipa no kan odi say oye dem oka but me gidie say yenya twan ho kakra senior president mama I committed no obe solve it
but Ivan, so if you want to say if there's something fishery I also ECG I do so neighbor, what are you waiting for?
David, I think that for quite some time now ade bako adiga na nya pa okroma e ade afa state owned enterprises. These are enterprises they are supposed to, you know, work at the various strategic areas. Sabaya Ghana, click.
Yeah.
So you can say it's one of the engines of the government machinery. Sure. But you see, for some time now, all these entities have become debt entities. Are more driver debt. Debt, you know, more rise as a result of inefficiencies within these institutions because they are not accountable to anybody. ECG, we don't know messy up or no politician will be at them. Bank of Ghana, man for messy up, others are now printing money, and as for inflation could do 50 something in Obia would know. I know that the politician will take the bashing. So some of these things are render these state institutions very inefficient. And sometimes when you walk in and you look at some of the decisions they make, you'll be shocked. Foolish decisions, reckless decisions are those decisions that are far-reaching consequences on the fortunes of this country. For instance, I know you care about your friends say ECG can near my own here. What will be the motivation? You need it next 10 years. No. Expiration date be 8 years. So you know very well say it doesn't make any sense in terms of logic to make such procurement. But because I know that they are not being held accountable, no, a politician will pick a call, Munya this order, me supplier, our China, Menena Kasa, and they will bring the things. The state will pay. So these inefficiencies in all these state institutions are so compromised to the extent that ECG TBBLT. ECG, I say on NECA. This is a company, independent power producers, as of Gilwine, or magic power, or they don't sell power. When they produce the power, they give it to ECG, go and sell. Obama catches a technical and commercial losses here 42%. Now more than JB. Company bank and now be a produce power man second was a technical and commercial losses of 42%. That no company can be viable, and that become a norm. Oh, it's okay. Now you're home. Nobody's been fired. I brand here now not Obetra TV3 former MD justifying this reckless spending as a fire. Yes, yes. Under his watch, a lot of these things went on. And for me, I resign, and I'm a some sense of decency, being at least what draw back. Now I hire a bit to be a way, but he was defending some of those nauseating stuff. So you see, for me, the doomsday situation, you know, are quite obvious. But then you see, you can't governance. yan trengu bo bi so ba bia just e bemia akwanya Kocaine ba ansa no mo be hu. Governance my culture say is an act. It's flexible, and sometimes you can contextualize it just to fit one kasa or terrain because obia circumstance are different. Says here ayeti hai aban sisa no the books have been opened. Every reasonable mind be in me catch the nsem hu na MPP aban bogu ho e ma manfo hu say power sector no there is a crisis. Who doesn't know? Unless you are not ready to accept the reality. That is the reality yet home. But you see doom sona shall say eba Debbie,
which is worrying. And tell me, everybody is entitled to express that particular thing. So what you need to do is constant engagement with the people. Tell them what is happening. Yeah.
Because Ghanaians understand the problem, but what they will not agree with you is say all of a sudden lights eba. You that anybody been told anybody anything?
As it stands now, I don't know there, but there is no reason or justification to why I would so.
No, there is a reason, but nobody is telling you. That's the reason why. So that
Dr. Triana Kenya.
And I make us say in the past, some of these mistakes echo. So
yeah.
Abra John Mahama about 2016, do you know say of free power? Years after, and said a man for who said or see your friend is a Legon hospital.
Yeah.
Years after, before a man for who said Nema or yeah. So I think communication is key. There is a problem on daily basis. Update people doing such situation. Saying that people agree with you because government is are buying the magic.
Yeah.
And that's sorry, and Nema was and Nema no. People know so there is a problem, but the energy ministry must consistently be engaging people, update people, let people know. Hey, Hannah, this is the situation, and the lights never cut off. Mamma be tema, and that mom prepare. This is what is going to happen. When you inform, you see, lights in a call for home, and the lights in a call off for the yaman for a hero. And yet, the fact that you don't know, you don't know when it is coming.
Yeah,
I think that where our governance are getting to know, we need to move beyond this. In other jurisdictions like America and as a forum, some of the company lights in a call off and they send a text message as telling you why and when it will come. With maybe you're not much advanced to get there, but radio announcement that kind of way, let people know, let them understand. Then my culture is a governance, it's a public enterprise. So, and you be in the department and say, 12 o'clock, I baby, or no. A public enterprise, you need to inform people, let people know. That is why I call White House Donald Trump. Every day he's behind the cameras, communicating his own policies in his own voice for people to know what he's doing on daily basis. I think the president should be doing weekly that kind of way, and then White House, the press secretary, every blessed day, so answering question from your friend is saying
the media,
because you don't leave doubt. Governance is such that you don't create a vacuum. But the very moment you create a vacuum, people will fill it, and whatever they fill it with, you don't have any control. Because people will fill it with propaganda, misinformation, whatever. You can't control. So for me, you don't create room. But Sankayabana Yama reason. This is why there is doom so.
Yeah.
And the very people they are the same people on social media. And then they are tagging John Mahama to do so, but they are the very people who caused the problem. So why don't you tell people, explain people, say these are the challenges. We are doing our best. Here we are, and let's say. So people are in the know. But what's also now you hold information to your chest. You don't speak to anybody. Sometimes people want information and then suddenly Obia who said. So WhatsApp now will send a message I take a blue no and now people know how to disable that particular. It was sending the message and take a crown of our kind. You see, I don't know why we don't learn as people. Power not JB. However long you stay, it will expire. Rollins to me Obenya no be no Benya be do Ghana how 21 years in power in military uniform. He wielded absolute power and the Rollins were ever.
Because from the old canon, as it starts now, me try me bills away. Ebia me can any duma.
Yes.
Me should prepare.
Yes.
I'm expecting some may enjoy power.
Yes.
E can be wo no mo a, anase bibi atochima wo no mo a. Ye stakeholders.
Yes.
Leading stakeholders.
Yes.
We should be of the known say this is the reason why this and this and that is happening.
You need to understand, sir, there can never be a situation power sector in your problem. There is a problem.
Absolutely.
Communicate. Tell people every day, engage them. Let them know why this is happening, why and then 2 o'clock or light back off because of this situation. Tell people I'm not against light now air off, no, but I'm against the lack in terms of flow of information. Updating people, let them know, explain, because already know book now by OPS, you know. Or my who say we had just about 48-hour power emergency way. The President Mahama made commitment to say he will do everything. At the early stage, things were going away. So at this point in time, the ministry need to take over, engage people, public update, you know, give them anyasa. You are giving arsenals to your enemies. And the MPP is out of power. There are people on social media calling John Mahama Doomsday John Mahama when they know they created a problem. Elections, you know, that time you free crew net so a current abwabo no see hono. And again, ECG issue nearby a man for tongue cables and as a forum no. We need to revisit that particular issue because the crisis we are in today is as a result of this criminal negligence and the complicity of some people in the past administration. Why are they working free? This ECG cable matter must be revisited full glare, and every single individual won't be
Is the NDC and for that matter John Mahama ready to visit that issue?
No. At this time, it's not just about NDC. It is about John Mahama. Governance level, and the caliber of young people who are coming, and how Ghanaians have become so much receptive and interested in issues of politics. You have no choice. People will determine what to do. One year you are digging your own grave, and the president, as a very experienced politician, he understands these things. You understand? So punishing crime is something you can never forgo at this time because young people are out there asking questions because there were criminal activities all over. You and I were here. We are all sitting on this platform. Boom, the corruption. Now corruption now prosecuted. So I think that the president understands this. Let us take this fight. But you see, my catch is weakness has no space in politics.
You
need to be strong. You need to be very frontal. You don't care about what people will say so far as you know what you're doing is right. That is what we need to do because Nipana committee crime. We can't live in a country where somebody will just wake up a day because signals brew wine. Now I walk into estate. A dying among kind 27 man will check album now more dama. Jebi. Sikan babi onya no. On declare will be and these things as you see and a man for best say or a party in press conference I could defend them. I'm telling you, press conference and as I'm the soldier for such nonsense must not be tolerated because we are talking about issues of criminality. Oko other jurors now I'm back catch as a South Korea president and can say omotuno on say ya on betuaba. Do you know what he did? He declared a martial law. I'm a soldier for parliament. That action was deemed unconstitutional by parliament. Emma passive vote of no confidence. Supreme Court unanimous decision. South Korea preparation to go into election. The whole president though. How much more? Yes, some obviously infinitesimal will be on an ECG. We need to be very aggressive in our approach. Now you're making sure this time round, young people are available. They've taken vested interest in politics. They are monitoring. They see how things are going, and they want to take some key decision. Because don't forget, now a mad handkerchief, except for money. So, so can now a mortgage tax at the man. Or the now a man on bono. By the same person, nothing has changed because of our brababoni on the power of the boy. You understand? So when you win a political power, it's an opportunity. So, those who pursue wealth, they are narrow-minded, twisted individuals, and they don't even understand governance. But the name in Nkrumah left because of the legacy he built. His name will live forever. Who remember Obiawasi 26 buildings? How is legal? Now, because I know the day you may be the richest person in Ghana, you can't feed everybody. The poorest person in Ghana, ODD. He's the poorest. He will eat tomorrow. So when you get power, make positive impact, and that is the most important thing.
Very well, Doctor. So as a more like a communication, the flow of communication, especially with the Doomsday thing. So is there any avenue? Is there any reason why? Because it's a Ghana for whom they enjoy value for money.
Oh, some of these things, it is in the bosom of ECG. There's no doubt about it. I think I had several press conferences. The energy minister addressing the public about the state of the energy sector. There's even a plan to build another gas plant. What have you had? So the communication is ongoing. Of course, Ghana for are asking for more. There's no difficulty. Like I said earlier, we work at the pleasure of Ghanaians. If at any point in time, I'm not going to say your communication, and my yet said your mopena, we'll ramp it up and do what we need to do to make sure say the issues, about many. So that is the point. But the point must be made. Say where we are now, no credit or one.
Is there anything that can be you will be able to be a year for one now? Said the baby away in ya.
Of course, I don't think Ghana for to Obama. Yeah, for Obama, there are very significant changes in the energy sector. Ghana for us to Obama. We are still putting in place measures a day. Stable electricity, stable power beba. Ye independent power producers. Ye tuya bebreka. Kaka ye tuya. Ye allocate scar for fuel. Any other. Okay, say ye buy na fuel po. Power plant. Ye bi ni hono. Ye buy ye ni na ama ene. Bibia akoso boko. The point is that governance is a process. The difficulties na in Ghana for her so the two abamaye. It is those difficulties na ye be solve. But the point must be made. So where we are now, to be very honest, and yet every sphere of our national life, our social life, a car aba baby edim. What they make us say? Enti Nyaman Nketia was say the system no, etiminyani ekwa enimni na no has become a difficulty.
All right.
We want to promise the people of Ghana. Said nchoma to abamaye. Yeden sheshe pabegu akwemu na yaye. Complaints the brain and also on the part of government side we don't want to complain so
I say it too early
I say we don't want
the complaints are becoming too early as at the end
we don't want to engage in that. I know Ghana for our my intimate be okay indeed by 120 day social contract. The last time I came out of 20 final presidents were 19 Thursday on launch the free sanitary pad project.
I see. Coming Thursday.
Yes, I allocated about 300 million to that. Yeah, by levy, yeah, betting tax. You can say free senior high school. Yeah, decentralized feeding. Yeah, allocated 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Mahama Care projects. Yeah, launch 1 million codes program. Yeah, launch a Jumara program. Yeah, launch national apprenticeship program. Technical committee. Yeah, Juma. Yeah, launch. So many of these programs are present. Mama can't over here in the first 120 days. Why they? Why energy sector difficulty. It's be about the people of Ghana or more comfort. Any or many GA. Any or more right as Ghanaians. Our taxes. I was almost a canon. The government of John Dramani Mahama ready to assuage the plight of the people. In the energy sector, I be difficult, She be Michigan for in a matter of 2-3 months, there will be pastors. What's the name? All right. Some of my Ghana phone.
All right. Lucius.
Yeah.
Now, my phone wrap you up on this issue. Yeah.
The Rebecca said the Ivan Kyei say I said there's lack of communication. I feel say Odika. So say na Dr. Eka say ministry no Arye press conference ne for and that is at the ministry level.
Yeah.
And so at the sector level no me feel say say ECG ankasa on daily basis say dia light be go off and I say ebe gina so ana brea e de be ko off no ese betim Ghana for edin ehu what you say because a light e be ko off on tehwe time adno so be ba no unim se unim time o light de be ko off e bia me gidi se ne ma bi wo hono man ka be den obeye ansana akọ off what you say me e bia se light no so kra akọ off unim time light de be ba enti no ye wo bibi wo honom na se opese o ya o de kwa akɔhye that period be se light wo to honom na light go off wo honom na aba ene ndie me feel say ECG for ne Ghana for any ye so once at the ministry no ye na fam de me so me egi ECG say ben so no be ma information nye den enflu Because at least obia ne oyisu kania bia no otua hoka enti no ohia service no once a nipa na atua no kwade na chese wa ready say obede obese every nche okutua e ene kura no thank God say yenyusu ayi no bim anka no wo ho boso postpaid enti no prepaid enti once a nipa no kwakoto ayi power no nko ade ade abehiem na chese watuaka owo botaye nti okoede okotoye enti no ese also utimi S7 no wo hwe na se service no there is a challenger bia wuntimi meet niema bia you let the person know and then so dia kwa no internet adaroma even Facebook kura na say other social media handles no say who page kura let one ma megidi say amount for be share enti no se pa say light be ko off and say information o manipa ente de uni any justification to that effect say untimu nchege enti ana say untimu nka kwan kra obetimi reach out to the people. We have several avenues obetimi reach out to the general public.
Ivan,
with
the mama just 1 minute.
Okay, but some I can feed into the inefficiencies.
Yes.
You see, as some way by ECJ, you want to be given that update.
Yeah.
But is now the ministry, then through government. But because Obiam Fajan to a much, they feel so normal,
very comfortable.
Kind of attitude. So I think that is why we need to be very frontal and instill some sense of discipline into some of these state-owned enterprises. And some of the decisions I have reckless or take it with you because that internal culture, give prominence to that kind of inefficiency. We need to, you see, resetting, not just state institution in the here, and some of these agencies in Asiedu, they take the fat salary at the time. Bank of Ghana run a loss. Our loss near unprecedented in our history. Now you talk gold watch and as for the mark your friends board members.
Board members, yeah.
Yes, they were paying themselves allowances 500,000, 5 billion per each individual. At the time the company Boka VC in our history, they were printing money.
We will friend a handshake. Governor Bekwai so shaking hands with all the staff members into be at 20,000. Hey,
so you see, and just imagine, not 10 years or not, your friends saying district baby all your operation. Obi blood, Agasia Guneni, Nanipano HIV, now why are you infected forever no, or in the family in the FACO.
Yeah.
The risk these people are going through, people rendering essential services, Obiti baby because of way, and you see, sometimes anything of mining because you see, or mining yebi. And yet those up there is the efficiency on the ground. People workforce no more honor. How are we energizing them? How must be motivated and they work?
Very well. Mami now I say Ivan Kyei, innocent, a youth activist, youth activist. Mami Kanisa, may I say for your time this morning. And me and Lucius. So this is what NDC communication team member now.
Me part of the national communication team.
Oh, okay. And I'm castle a PPP.
Now people can't PPP say
don't mind me. And of course, Dr. Samia is a member of the communication team. Ewo Abaikesemu. Doctor, that's it for your time this morning. So. Enche na yaba sorry so anesa na
a social commentator or sign a youth activist. You know send work there?
Yeah, nyame adoma hode ho.
Yeah, the nyame ase. E be hia ne dey ko weekend nti ya na me bisa say weekend ne na ko say.
I say I want in here.
Yeah, you can't complain. I'm saying, I
complain.
Actually, why? Now I feel so. Now when you say surprise, and let me show surprise back. What you say?
We're trying to come back.
Come back. Brother Listowel.
Oba.
Ya feel say talk was your twem.
Miss Mafimo.
Shy.
Mafimo me monitor mo pa na.
Is there no turning back oh?
Yeah, mompa na.
Yeah. Ade bi o we nyam paibo. Anya bibia na yam paibo.
We kra de bia e dia come chine be kam. na me monitor mo pa, and I think say nyame adom more boy mine.
Kakra.
Say na me wo penny bi office. Early morning bi na mo ye program na eti ho ena o hwemo na me hu say dey make bia no ontie. So I joined him
to also watch.
And you share movie and I feel no good. I'm saying, a council.
Yeah.
So it tells you that it ran up a say.
Yeah.
A man for a very glued. Ubia ATA show. Titune and your mapa would you go aquam. So far, no. Who said, Wahu Kana or the Ebemuno, ama a shoe be abba. Ivan, they say, oh no. Generation way philosopher.
There's a certain guy. Oh, what's Sunyai? There's a class in Polytechnic, technical university, right? As our level 300 or so, yeah. As a minimum, so monitor my status. Thursday, so Wednesday, no, we are a one, a quabay, me fan said 3 when I'm in post to the next day fly, and I know I send you a message. It's innocent not coming tomorrow. Now, I said, I fly, and one I am, mammy. Just say, one monitor is status, it's
important. He has really much to give.
Exactly. Sure.
And he's always learning a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes, yeah, I say, am I coming to the lecture room or I'm also coming to lecture? So I am managing the commentary.
Sure.
He has a lot to offer.
Exactly. All right. And top of the I'm sure say Yadika Bobo Biswa Mao and Ra you follow Supreme Court process. Vincent Asefua or honorable can do. Okay, honorable can
supposedly.
Or the President Mahama Court to say process na petition no by ya or start to say obetimi ede apam Chief Justice no Supreme Court and stop President Mahama from sa constitutional instrument na say emra na wode be ye adwuma no o nsi ne kwan kra na wantoa so eno apa na ne ba ko amanti na wo say omutu sheda omu wie ye na honorable Dominic Kanye no ya attorney general wa magana forty say process ne de enka de President Mahama and the Asha Council of State any committee in and it is not going to affect it in any way. And I know the that baby and a process so air coso. I say after that in who say minority so I press conference same your Makabi. I feel the honorable Afenya and minority leader saying or who President Mahama said or ye statesman because mainstream politics never cost to 2028 on Kobium. Enti ma NDC funny ideas and distract governance na oyi Chief Justice ebe say Ghana democracy innocence
yeah they can mention what here for and I benka say also no part the political discourse na yeah no yeah it's not just for politics of it keke na yeah but we are shaping the minds trying to educate people sabe bit me take governance say in a contest a bit me a situated this country na yet me achieve the kind of dividend as of mine nyina whole essence and they say you bet me away economic freedom not just for but for young generation yet to come sabaya or mine na mamu no ebenya so mfaso amomo. But very often, all that surround upon our political landscape now tear some of the conversation. People you have so much respect for, sometimes you draw back because you begin to ask yourself, so on my you see a democracy, a fledgling democracy. Yeah, try to be able to reposition you want to be globally, able to be competitive, a force to reckon with, if nothing at all, within the sub-region. And people who are leading the conversation, the bigger conversation, a driver policy, a shaping minds, and they dictate the pace of our politics. And sometimes when they speak, you find saying the intellectual weakness the poverty of intellect that they live in their wake. And sometimes, you know, it's so shocking and so frightening. And what's in China, Emma Wabamubu as a young person, expecting that things will go the way you expect them to go. Afenyo Markin MPP chief, your friend saying Chief Justice. This whole petition removal. In the first place, this is a political party, MP, no, as you president. Say the mandate our exercise in the petition idea man no unconstitutional and one breath ojina court ayedi asem na yanu babia on the second breath the same political party is staging a press conference and saying whole lot of stuff. The good question is when did the MPP become the spokesperson for the Chief Justice? And again, Nipana President Mahama Baya were you mono, not just Chief Justice. Then saying you're gonna start sticker head. There are several other individuals. So why don't you bundle all these people together and as I will speak for them or speak for them? Why Chief Justice? It means you have a peculiar interest. And the questioner now press conference and all cannot say. President Mahama per se or uniform or cover familiar person or a sympathizer of the NBC. So does it mean that Kufuor man or buy no a sympathizer of MPP? You see, these are people they just talk cheaply, loosely without thinking because they are very smart and a very sensible person and you are making such comments in public. You will be guided by some of these things because are you saying say Nipana Akufuor ne buy a man or MPP into what buy? Is she a sympathizer of the MPP? Is the reason why you are fighting for her today? You see, this whole process, beginning with the court, you know, it's a foolish undertaking, because the constitution now frames, you know, when they frame the constitution, they realize in the exercise of their duty, at any point in time, anybody can go rogue. Rogue means you veer off. And I'm saying position now occupied they very sensitive, you know. Constitutional framers deliberately created a window. Say when such a situation arises, then a window is created for the removal of the Chief Justice. That power is not vested in the president. That is the first point that we need to make. The power to remove Chief Justice, you know, to begin with, that power is not vested in the president. It is vested in the people of this country who feel dissatisfied. And I said they are in direct contravention. I will establish rules of engagement, you know. Write a petition and send it to the president. The president becomes just a conveying belt. Or just petition you forward to Council of State to establish merit, credence, and as a value in this particular way. The president court because at that point my money here. Now me say even that particular call was premature, even from the Chief Justice, because at the point president engaged Council of State, you know, that particular process. My culture say no adverse funding at any point in time can be advanced against the Chief Justice. So at that point, you know, you don't even need to hear her. But for the president to go ahead, now all man a crime man 10 days on far response. At that time, not sure the president himself has been kind enough to the woman. Because I was against the fact that President Mano the opportunity to be heard at that point. Because in young committee level, at that point, you know, the whole essence is young petition, you use a meet threshold. Council of State is not, it's not a discretionary something. That particular thing is a constitutional injunction on the president just to send a thing to the Council of State. Council of State and adjudication body, all that they are clothed with the power and they say, a meet threshold, say, a fete, I bet me calling the petition. At that point, no. And that's more established that then we go to a committee level where a committee in that panel is an adjudicatory panel. At that point, the woman must be heard because the principles of natural justice actually say the accused must be heard. And at that point, you know, constitutional crime insists say at that point the Chief Justice must be heard either in person or through her counsel. It's explicitly clear in the Constitution. And the way you're MP, now you say you are just clutching at straws. Not a party not lose badly. They have bad faith. People don't believe in them. They think that the numbers they have in parliament is so useless that they can't use it to advance any conversation. All that you need to do is to shout aloud so that your voices will be heard. So we had the MPP, you know, after the elections now. And they go there to stage press conference. Others in fear no more drew. We fear no more drew. Abrante yes, no more drew the fear like solidarity and that is what they are doing because they have no relevance in this modern political dispensation. So they're just clutching at straws fixating on irrelevant issues just to be relevant. It's the reason why you see all this thing, because in the first place, this whole court proceeding is a foolish undertaking. It doesn't make sense because constitution processes that must be followed in case we want to remove the Chief Justice. President Mahama Nasori also Chief Justice. Ghana need the petition and the president is going directly with the provisions. The constitution, that is what he's doing. And for me, he has been even kind by listening to the Chief Justice at the early stage. Well, I can't say at that early stage, in the process, it's not an adversarial process. Anything can be advanced against Chief Justice. You need to hear her voice. You establish a credence. We now move to next stage. At that point, we can sit and then today, after your marking of all people on the MPP sit behind cameras. And they try to portray, say, they care so much about Ghana to the extent, say, so mama Ghana will break. And I'm saying, say, these are a bunch of jokers who should never be taken serious. Because we were in this country when series barrages of foolish decisions, barrages of foolish executive decisions, and the consequences in here so overriding and so overreaching. Say, baby, Ghana generally. When the president was taking these decisions, where were they? We were out there on the street on a daily basis. Some of us were deemed enemies of the state. Almost anti-government, your friends say, enthusiasts. Always on TV. Naysayers. President Akufo-Addo say Sambala to say exactly. All sort of unholy descriptions were attributed to us because we wanted them to do things right. These were the very people who were leading this country on a foolish course. Today, all of a sudden, after you have been embarrassed so badly, you turn around and come and tell us that you care so much about Ghana. Did you care about Ghana at the time? Arye Ghana seek $58 million. We sat here, we told you that was a foolish enterprise. Don't push our money in. They went ahead and $58 million in their court. Few months after losing the election, you are trying to portray say you care so much, you love so. I think you see, these are a bunch of loose cannons hanging on politics. We should forget about them. All that they are trying to do is to sway the cause, shift focus, shift attention on them so that they become relevant in this political space. I think government must remain resolute and absolute because me, I am very much, and Ramans, your friend is Musa Dankwa, team, yes, research. And this research is countrywide research, nationwide. And question is, beside Ghana for the removal of, go and look at the results. 52% of Ghanaians want the Chief Justice out. So if you're a reasonable person and you have respect for the people of this country, you don't wait to go through this embarrassment. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jumama. Oh yeah, Jumama CTV. Who do our workers and why listeners in Asia power over bad. You don't go where you are not needed. Me, that is who I am. I don't go where I am not needed or wanted. I won't go. So as a Chief Justice, the people want you out. Petitions have been written. These people post now pointed to the fact say people don't want you. At the end of the day, as a sign of respect, you just bow down and go. You just bow. You can't fight this thing when the people don't want you. You understand? And you see, people it is at the back of series of improprieties. Decisions are also Chief Justice unilaterally to make panel or say you were free over open case. We saw what happened at the Supreme Court and several of that. I have a friend who is a judge, a big man. He himself want this woman out. A judge, we did the judiciary. A lot of them don't like you. Very unpopular. And I said this is not the first time I buy about two different Chief Justice. President Mahama by Mel's by. Sana George na wood na time so yeah. What is obi kase yenyi no. Na maami ba na what is obi akase obi nyobi. But aye would did ne nema waye. Na kwan a the judiciary na so unpopular. You see if nothing at all this particular way your friend is saying survey ya babontin aye enough testamenta we obi a we reasonable na we well respect for the people of this country. I say if majority of the people if this what they are saying I buy out you go away. But where is this whole hanging on? And what is the particular interest of the MPP as a political party? Is it the case that the woman is there to protect them? Is it the reason why they are doing everything to ensure that she doesn't go? Because for me, she's not the only person who has been affected, even though her position is a bit way, But there are several other individuals, President Mahama Baye, what terminated my appointment. And why are they not doing press conference? Why are they not fighting for those people? Are they not Ghanaians? So why this particular one? So you see, I think that this is a political party that has lost so badly. They've lost faith. Ghana for need respect for them, and they're just trying to be relevant. So they are just hanging on anything that comes their way. And in the coming days, trust me, a lot of these things will be coming up. And Ghanaians should stay focused. I'm urging President Mahama say he should stay in line. With this particular petition, every single of it, if there is merit in it, this woman must go. Inclusive this state institution to build trust once again.
Okay. Meba choma mesima meba sisia. Mama me pressure
Yes, Sam, I'm coming to your show. Please, what surprises should we expect? If I tell you about the surprises to expect, will it be a surprise?
A night of music and fashion. Eat good food and digest with laughter. KSM Masterpiece. Old age is a BITC. Live at the Kempinski Hotel on Easter Saturday, 19th of April. Talal, Lexi, Chemical, and Viana. Buy your tickets now at ksmlive.com.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on the 19th, man. Because especially you men, I want to do a tete-a-tete with you men, man. Because I wanted to discuss some very important issues like, you know who the Supreme Commander is? Others call him the Commander-in-Chief.
KSM is crazy. Buy your tickets now at ksmlive.com.
To Ghana for any Ghana mine, Sebi, ya buying for MPP ni. No, I mean, sometimes, I said, nipa. Oh, you see, this whole thing about the Omo Yeni Nano.
Yeah.
I idea back 8 years under that rule of Akufo-Addo ne Bawumiano. It was nothing democratic.
Yeah.
They only created what we call a syndicate of criminals. And it was a syndicate. Chief Justice Kahon, a lawyer for Kahon, a judge for Kahon. Now, Akufo-Addo sitting in that office, as president, decided say, me make sure say, me your friend is saying, or mine in such a way say simple me nya mampani a metimi control mine from efie na John Muhammad ye san say no ohoro nanim kosoro nti no wo ba ye no wahwe na oye hwehan because the na Akufo-Addo ye no na the plan is say e was say o hand it over to Bawumia say the be ya say Bawumia mpo e ye president a or ye president a no Akufo-Addo na controlling no. And unfortunately, John Mahama enya tumi ebedi mampani. And sinto a war system ni mu no, eno na odi board ru a Yakopon ye na dom Ghana fo su dina so. E can say car no asay na wo su be overhauling dia. And ye be ma tumi amwa ba be overhauling no. Overhauling ne bro fo ba ko any reset. And we say okay. To reset it means to say, and your mother than in den atwam they say no ye ba be ye abode foforo ben election year John Mahama win ye Ghana ni bia say it is the second independence of this country because and the Akufo-Addo no na slave masters na krampa no ya brofo no na omo ntete yen te say de na Akufo-Addo a ono ka brofo na broni ebusa de pardon Akufo-Addo slang president.
Why are they absent?
Pardon. Cancer the him.
Otimi kasana say broni na ono.
I dem the bro for buy.
Broni bra promotion say pardon. Because what brofo ne ho ama Sebi antelope crowd me can anchela.
Oh dear.
Etino baby and I could no. Now Akufo-Addo was even misbehaving more than the colonial masters. Anna yaji efa hudi. Yaji efa hudi no. Kana fo nyina sebi. Petition no kram nwa say emiensa. It's because of some of we were too lazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I have a petition very ready to present to the president about the dismissal of the Chief Justice. And I have never even used the word Chief Justice because there is nothing justice about that institution. There is nothing. What is the meaning of justice? Peri yo anyhow. In a missing a year, you say, me, yawo me birth certificate, no. Yawo me organ honey, a birth certificate, no. Birth certificate, no. So me free India, and I me bag Ghana ha, and I me nyimu ye, and I me wo ya. I was here trust me free India,
yeah.
And I me buy any
yawo me waha.
It's your friend me, Rashid Kapon. Me boy.
Edi apre no.
Edi amepe. Na Rashid Kapon, yatro nationality Indian. Ye wi ani abetro ni maami din ni papa din. Wo si enu ntimi nkyira se me ye Ghana ni ana me nya Ghana ni.
Yeah.
Wei, wanu what me akotro se ni maami ni papa twa school fees. Tokonu ni papa no ye adwuma wo ye friend say Kofo Dua secondary technical. Oko wi ade ne pam no. Wei papa wei ne ba wei krono a obo ya ma ye twia papa yi so ka ma ye pam ni kotena fia ene wawu aja Abraham wawu ye friend Abraham Kofi Saki ne mano nyina mini momo omu nyina Ruby nom ne Ben nom ne mini momo I know them. Oh, we are see we no obi anti island mu. And your connections with the NPP, everyone knows. Who doesn't know Tokonis or NPP? Who doesn't know?
Oh, who them so NPP?
Why NPP ni? Who cares when NPP ni kuampo no beyaka?
Hey, now some of them mean so NPP.
Why NPP ni papa?
So Chief Justice. Ne ye na be man ko fa ka se bi o NPP.
From the ye no, just say, jealous of, say. Or a party member. Or a party member. And who play the role as a women organizer. And to that syndicate now, we create here to loot this state, you know. She was part of that syndicate. Judiciary will be any. Just say, I'm up for an Ntim Fordjour. Oma G, you say. Okay, to say, Chief Justice, what but mine? Now, would there be sabi? Was other or your gas?
Yeah.
No painting, I'm meeting. And you know, Omo a certain very primitive mentality. Once, you be bought NDC so, and ye be and I was here making sure say, yeah, not yet they destroy NDC. Sa adwemu fin tantan no enu ti na yedi nipa miensa eti akwa akosisi judiciary wa Supreme Court no we kona nipa miensa tisisi wo no me sanka me ba be man pani dako me de grade abekwa kodua yam amele no look sa de si in a democracy ana
David
esi in a military junta.
Yeah.
Who are good for the work nipa ngoche in a democracy at the Abema penny. You didn't find the need to put their heads at the Supreme Court. It's something that I'm calling on the NDC. Omo tutu sa nipa miensa ni tino sa nipa miensa ni tino omo de kwasi asam de ti sa judiciary ni mu no sa nipa miensa no oya ya odim at some point person kura kosua law wa wo de wa dwen ekosua mra na da ate wo de aba obra na wo de aboa nkofo ama omo so abra abo aye beta no na yebusa say na wo nana bi ye lawyer na wo fa bi ye lawyer na wo papa bi ye lawyer na uko interview na yebusa sa kwasi asem we nyina eduru maybe man so for yakufu me chena boss sa as a chief justice say adan ya wonte ase say a lawyer for ne do so organ adodo adan you pacho lord ye boma Lord Yabama. And on the Tiwanum na Omama, a one macquarie to say MPP dia. Uko Ghana Bar Association, such stupid association, very useless association. Look at the presidents of the Ghana Bar Association and look at their political inclination. When you're MPP, you don't matter.
Okay.
And to be Biana Koya centralized in a certain, you say, yeah, MPP for, where would you pass the MPP lawyer? MPP lawyer be a bon, onimumra, onim judge. Onimumra, onim judge. Because Obekwa Kone judge at Nasia catcher and some MPP ni, it's near dear Sam Naman. And this lawyer, you have to be an extra sharp, brilliant student to pass. When you my MPP for, I did DNDC for our law school, I will Ghana. Mami way. One in charge of your friend is Ghana law report. Now, I'm to be the year, I could follow the dear law report to me. He said editor or editing newspaper. Not what the front page about. I need the open editor anymore. I don't know how does that make a Kufodo a brilliant lawyer without a certificate. Near budget so, obey your lawyer, Ghana. Hey, a day na a Ghana, I bet me say, was so a human rights lawyer. No, again, a said he was a human rights activist. Person would destroy a democracy under the cloak of a certain your friend is saying, and me Chief Justice, and I mean, I'm here way. Obana Yam Pamono.
All right.
What's because where Adia Ghana front time focus on. Who is me? What do you call quarter frame? I mean, who do you mean? Me conquer general moving country. Me say, me a crown for Abraham in the background where we escape. A two-part my judgment to be a warrior, see, be our young family conquer what me come for. Member. Me, you money.
Okay.
The trust in the judiciary, and only the pivot around which democracy revolves.
Okay.
So me wo susuyepa say that be said be my adwuma bi na bia e sinto bia ba ho obi de makọ court say wo say me ko not judge aka asem no
French
na judge ono se me birth certificate et me tell say me Ghana ni we we nipa ami me nko jira na ni manka me anka me say bre nkyere me. Do you know the sanctity of that institution? They play the God in the lives of the Ghanaian.
Okay.
It is so 18 years from my Lord. But Sani Pano, if he becomes your Satan, why do you have to refer to him or her as your Lord? And okay. Media me who say, wait, or my penny my way. Say, and come by an also constitution, no, it be a chapter, and article way, and our clause to say, Chester man penny, who needs her to me, say, what me, yes, I did we, and a why. Listowel will come and say, man penny. I don't know, person we are lawless. Knowing what they have done, knowing how they have just impoverished the state by robbing from the coffers of the state what it belonged to the state, you know. And I could for those status or she said judge for or packing people for judge for you have go Supreme Court, you have go High Court, you have go Appeals Court, you have go your friend is saying circuit court. It is an NDC by way, Upa, Momofa Semuko Court is here. Yeman 3 months. Omba Broscota send not to baby cry. And you know, the reset agenda, no, maybe they feel said the pivot now. And who here to reset a judiciary.
Okay.
And Sana me parliament in San Samuel Manuel. Yes, parliament or Sinto, baby. Executive or Sinto or no crowd affair was as into Sinto Yamai. But Sinto de a battery pound. But when no, and yet to say, why a mistake? One more bomb possum be bonnet, on by a dream, on by Nioma and San Fata. Sandy Panomo, a cool no more. your mind so mobedi or mine bonia. That criminal syndicate, you must make sure say by any means necessary. You
okay.
It's na the akaya homa. Say Matisse is judicial secretary knows why so resign. Yeah. Is it true?
Sa memeten enra.
What resign? How resign? Na papa ko tena ho. Na reset agenda no. Yentimi hwe kwan a ebetimi afa so a ye be reset ya magana fo anya institution mu gidie. Send you be the Listowel court. Obetimi appear before court. No we say
Obenya justice.
Papa. And you say, obi me a court with the threats. And remember, NPP needs to make a say, on your court. Because of the coordinate threatening, you know, he say, who court to what? You be boss and neguso because on him judge, you know.
Okay.
And now, I remember you, sa ni judiciary way out, you know. Upa koshe a judge for no. A lawyer for no mudi as someone no mutia by any container la pay one in one hand. Okay, chambers are free. I could for the chambers. And you know, your case will be a lawyer near or you're superior to any human being.
Yeah.
I don't think I may move Ghana Bass, so me more, papa, me more, say, because also, now say, President Mahama by Omakotiano. What they are my home busumis here. And no man there could follow the West or Messasia can was him. And so I could follow your man Penny. Did you hear Ghana Bar Association speak to anything?
No.
Me I mean ya a champion. One more what that. When name escape wafuba. When name is on NPP. Na ya tena ho na NDC force so mutimi ntiba association bi. Association ya force. Onu nti na me say constitution review ya ye beye no. Saga na Bar Association ya man some notoriety bi wo constitution no. Omo delete omo fa eraser.
MPP film.
And treatment taking tungu baby kura. A very useless institution. Omo more democracy no. They are very selfish and self-centered. And the MPP for NA omukuo, and NDC for kuo, and Ghana kuo. Ghana Bar Association is a NPP for the tier. That is a Christian Council. A NPP for the tier. And more NDC for no. If you want to have a friend is a democracy play in a very nice manner, you have to bring about rivalry. Muntimukuo, the true Ghana Bar Association. No, bien who say where you nyansa for kona kwasiafo ni nie. Separate yourselves from the chaff. Let the grace stand out. Okay. And the chaff also stand ni baby, you only ni baby.
The baby, when I
moving forward no.
Yeah.
Chief Justice Arye no. Me say and yet constitution ama a year. Eka John Mahama just by a stroke of a pen or try to cement papers with their left hand. No pamono.
Okay.
One more man. When you say card there and could just Tom and women. I find no market to me the Asema bedroom ne and they are money judgment. Now LGBT and we here and collect from Mutu, yet the collect books about yet near the other two and him. It took more than about 1.5 years. Now assembly the whole. All because on person who for the crab sign.
Yeah.
Last minute I could for the no or bow out no. I find my and yeah, judgment no. What?
Okay.
Or you're more partisan than a Juma, I was say, oh yeah.
Okay.
On self attack. And the earlier they sack her, the better.
Me da say, ni yan kwamra na because ye tisimu no stopping no. No stopping. It's innocent. Over rap and I call way no so direct.
Yeah, I think.
Then our press conference no who said you abu pia three for back for the top of. Sa ko ba ko gina Nana B eto na JFK to na we so te ho afeyo market to na nkrofo be se 4 se 5 bi su edin ba ko tuntum bi na me so signal afeyo market se a hu se TV3 microphone si pia to twere pia to one almost pia to twere we video na ba stress as asem kura bi
we be a winning nyansa media general is one of the biggest platforms that we hear party in opposition you need media and obi ma you are sending a message out there somebody is giving you coverage what's what pam no through nyansa be na wo and America say you see these people can never be taken serious yeah. The focus should be that. The galamsey, the focus should be straightforward.
Okay.
Ghana for our concerns about the judiciary. It's not about the Chief Justice. Yeah. It is not about the individual judges. It is about the sanctity of the system. Yeah. Because the whole essence of voting for John Mahama now stems from the fact that institutions have been compromised and that there is the need for us to enhance them. Akufo-Addo was government was a corrupt government. It gave birth to a lot of bad institutions in the other way. Time has come. As a clean corrupt government, what do you expect? Bad fruit and they give you birth to. So time has come for us to, clean these institutions. The NPP will play their games and we know them, that is what they are good at. Clutching at straws. I think the president must remain resolute. Yeah, you see, baby, I don't know. First, and judiciary, that nonsense, this stage, it doesn't happen. Now, no, me tell me been a soft be say, and then rant or mamba social media, crown or more pema, now be fan work of a before. Now, me say, generation you can't threaten people with this thing. No, Mame Watana crown, I'm for you on the trip. Mame Watana, Casa, Mame Watana, Casa, I'm for you now, when you get Mame Watana. So you see. Generation I woman no ye nipa say and am a judge and I say no it is about your deed ya obeye and am Ghana for only trust and confidence in these institutions yeah ntimi am built there because these are the foundational institutions of our democracy. Your coercion, your integration, everything are contingent on these institutions. So at any point in time, if they begin to veer off, we need to bring them in line. So President Mahama Efeli, now when Timian sanitizes these 6 institutions, Ghanaians will be very disappointed in him because it is Ghana versus these people. You promise the people this is what you're going to do. He should stay focused and do. Fortunately, you've been given petition. You are going by the petition. President Enyam for Memra. His actions, everything is in line. Senka adia oye, and I was circumvent procedures. Our constitutional lady at her, and now all year near my basa na uyo position now raise concern and come here I will support you 100%. But as it stands now, they are motive because they know what they've done. They know where the woman is coming from, and they know the kind of biases. And I zoom it back. They have shared the nonsense that has happened within our judiciary. Will you be happy? Rulings in us for our so how offers or panel. There are people on the Supreme Court. A panel. You are 20 cry for them because Omunim said you are affiliated to this political party. There are people on the bench who have genuine concerns, and they even want this woman out. So you see, we need to build institutions that a bit gender trust. Confidence na man for nya hotoso say oh judiciary me the masem ko ha they will offer me way na at some point in time
judiciary ultimately na bonten kwa predictive ruling
na chief justice to kwan say all the data say the bottom afenyo mark ni issue ya o kan ye kanokre MPP ni ya or failed parliamentary candidate such a landmark issue speaker versus your friend say way na wakotam na ba betena way so omo Kenyan sasema wunti say or qualify. Who is talking about qualification? Yes. So I think that the posture, the tone, and then near my sabi and gender that trust. I mean, she need to have a sense of shame and resign at this point and go, so that you avoid all these things. Because this process, trust me, it will go through. No matter what happened, this process will go through. And evidence and I will petition, a valid, absolute. She will go home. What the MPP is doing cannot save her. I think we need to remain resolute, focused, and deliver Sabaya Ghana for Obenya Toso what is happening. Yeah, with this galamsey issue, I think one thing, yes, a very serious in our approach. You see, over the years, and the soldier for from Rollins time up to now, we haven't been successful. So I think, in as much as I want us to take stringent measures, I am very front, I be dealing with these things. Individuals now they don't own site, they don't own anything. These are people because of poverty, for daily bread. So we are government, now your focus is on these people, you make a mistake. there are campaigns. They don't go into the site. They don't go. They are the concession owners. They are the people who are importing these Chinese from wherever they are to come and do some of these things. Government strategy must target these individuals and make sure, say, the owners of this site should be our prime target. You understand? Because the it's like washing your feet, abra wash your socks. And again, so your mining regime over the years now tilted to favor foreigners rather than Ghanaians. Ghana for have come to the realization say who only resources now, you must benefit from it. It's me your boss say masasira manfo to go do me hear me the medical me. What do you think the people will do? They will rise against you. So government must begin to review your mining regime, no. Those laws now, say increase laws now in the past, Befanama me royalty, Befanama me we no. Nyansa we own the resources. We must have absolute control. Countries, mutimi yes, and Saudi Arabia who say our oil no. What take in there? Hiring American companies with services expertise in as a form. Because Saudi Arabia, yes, on the rig. The individuals there are Americans and UKs. What the expertise, but yet they work for these people and they pay them at the end of the day. Why can't we go by the same model? So Ghana will get to the realization say and Yansun we need to. This galamsey thing, I told you the last time, say what you have to do, you see, at every district, at every region, but be a galamsey no cost on. Form a state-owned company. Let the company employ young people. Government, because we are then nipa two at the end of the so you lead. So these people will be working for institution under government, highly regulated. They are going by the procedures. These people will not destroy our soil. By a tamna ye jagu hokake. Na soja foko gumuram ne ya pamwe. We go pam the panu free wa. The following day we can't go back. They will go back and occupy the place. And again, unemployment situation. We must also begin to look at it because it is one of the driving force. And one major idea has to do with the deportation of these Chinese people who come here. For me, I think it is one of the most stupid policies if we are going to implement it. China near. As a country, we don't even prioritize our own people. We are putting premium on foreigners. And I was shocked to realize, Manasseh investigation and China fire from 2001 to 2021. I go for the time we can't do this. And our people are in prison. Our people are languishing in jail. These are people who bring high equipment to this country and they destroy soil and so forth. And I was say soldier for call baby. Operation. Exactly.
Normal, I hear a whole community, nipo over 10,000. Nigeria from Burkina from. Just all the African countries that you can think of.
Yes, and Chinese are there.
China for so.
Exactly.
And omoya counterfeit, omoya drugs. Just say.
You see, China an approach.
Okay. Just say serious.
Yes.
Yes, serious.
Yes, and this way has been there. We had dining as if we need to and then it's been there.
Yeah.
And that is the source of money among Fonya. So they are comfortable, and these people are doing some of these things. We turn around and pretend that we are fighting galamsey. I think that we need to. You have to revise our methods. How a bit to deal with this frontally. And yes, sir, you didn't say just to satisfy the greed of some few individuals who want your friends at Niaman. And unfortunately, when they do these things, they cannot cry Magana for home. I go into private pockets. China for your Muya Galamsey, or they are able to smuggle this gold out of this country. I know that they know minor short changing. Now they are using Ghanaians to do some of these things. I know that they impoverish the people and they go away. So government need a grand policy approach. I bet media dealing with some of these things because Kasano Yadoso. And Ghanaians are very much concerned about this galamsey men and so as a forum. I think that the approach must be very holistic, must be robust, making sure say punishment I will for even foreigners who come here should be biting enough. Now so we are now with foreigner now necessarily play no there. You are rather motivating them to come more because the worst that can happen is that we can't continue to do this. Or minor cannot continue to show weakness. Say we are weak in the name of because that is what Osafuma said some time ago. I think we need to get serious as a country. Yeah, okay. Now making sure say reset reset all facets. Now you create the maximum value out of our own natural resources. So be benefiting the people, but not benefiting other people as well. Now, okay. I said that man way,
yeah. I think governments are taking
what over. Government need to do is we need to nationalize that particular thing. Now you only and whatever services that we require to say we can hire from anywhere in the world, and we must begin to renegotiate existing way, including Obuasi land now. Anglo Gold, other people are taking, including recent deal. Kufuor to sign this lithium deal. We must begin to own these things. When we own it, I think it will sad natural resources. A country like DR Congo, and right now we can say natural resources of more can even take care of the whole of Africa, but Okoha poverty because some individuals, because of greed, want to take advantage and own everything. I think we need to rethink as an Africans. But be a not there.
In fact, I am a depa. My boss send me one can't say me kind, but I didn't know what no. I think I was so be ultimately now. Then you understand why people want justice at the judiciary. God never sleeps. That is why He sees all we do. But if He were ever to doze off, it is judges the people have no choice but to rely on for what is right or wrong. A judge who leaves the people doubting or confused may be fit to serve at the mortuary or some other businesses, but not any courts, let alone a Supreme Court.
Yes, yeah.
Ken Kwesi Shea Dakwa.
Quick one, yeah. That is a very powerful statement. And you see, now Listowel Kasano, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. My Lord Ninyanipano. The veil of reverence. According to the institution judiciary. Because those times, in the UK, settlements and on a court and I say Nipani dia sema ojina ohenena naimu. Odi where you can't even argue because power no derive directly from the king. So it is assumed that king and atana. So that is the veil of reverence, and these people executed that mandate with perfection, absolute way. And that has been anything my Lord now has been replaying in history up to now. It doesn't mean that we are Lord or we are not Lord, but you might obey. But we've gotten to a time where OBS or your Lord, at your condemn Kojia Ponche, the New York to prison. And you sit here and we say because we are Supreme Court and can't them. No, it can't happen. So I think that we are judge, you need to live it. I active value principle, you need to live according to it. And always, you must live to sustain that trust between you and the people. At any point in time, if that trust is not there, you need to resign and go. But unfortunately, now Museveni, the video, African leader, or Yara when you stroke on him, also to say the machine Senechi, but yet he's still working as president.
I saw that video.
We don't want power to go. Black man will hang on to power, even Ukraine. You understand? So I think we sometimes say, favor, let it go. Power, you won't die.
All right, Bradley Listowel.
Oba, you kind galamsey who says, say, Yakabia, maybe the future. But I did be a Ecosu, yes, in the say, Unima the cry, you can't intimate solve.
Okay.
Identifying a problem is almost
it
makes the problem half solved.
Sure.
Until identification, oh, yeah, can't galamsey. Ubi wa bem, not Unima dia, a friend galamsey, over then walk. What I say. And until I say, my future may say, I buy. Any boys ni na nya de na edu ba bia omo nka say ye ya ye bia ye mum ye fa ye tusu ye tete no na obi esi ID ni a otumi kwa aware na dwumenti o kwa aware ma aware no eso atimi di investigate either bema na oba se bema eye CID ni no kwa aware a obi a o investigate oba se oba kwa aware a CID for no obitimi ko ye betwani o baabi enye se abetwa no ne hia no
Debi.
but just so that ebi a omu say ebi abetwafo e di boni bi e we kura bi ase emre bi sehwi ba ko bi si ho ema menka abusuafo ya omu koku akola bi ebi ase no investigation ne ko so ama sa abofra na omu kun no no CID ni ba ko ware ebusuani no ye investigation ama ye hu ye ekusi ye what you say aban emmen sebi omo omutu galamsey 24 say oban sua na wo so kotobo wa
Okay.
the only reason why obi ye Ghana ni a obekwa akose nsu because ehia
Yeah.
Ghana ni nsheda enye na adwen se opese wo sei bibi nsuwa ne yakwaya bebrebe ase ni nyina foreigners minima de kura ayehu wo man we mu a enu nti no yentimi nya ye mu gidie se ye hia foreigner ene de atu gold wo man we because the last time I checked gold fields are mutu gold wo man we mu omo mining activity bi omo ye bi eye earth moving bi ano Ibrahim Mahama engineers and planners na ye enti say Ibrahim na etu gold no no wi a wo de amabroni no na broni ne de kati wani we bi te say due less 5% ya ma wo miner obetu gold ni free mu a eti wo busa ho say
Unyansa wa he.
unyansa Nyankopon de ma wo a wo sa de gold ne kan ho no
Wo he fa.
yeah sir mini minor micro minority for minute minority for omo no akose nkofo bi achi da man 30 years na so
Yeah.
aban say mini da man to nkwanta
Ya pai.
ai ni nyina go fields sa da man go fields adwuma o ye no Ibrahim ene etu ade ma da man go fields for enti no ubusa ho say say Ibrahim Mahama engineers and planners ene tu gold no the ma emrofo no na emrofo no yi emu 5%